Hey guys, Dr. Michigan Piper here, and I want to do a follow-up video. I know I'm not outdoors right now, but I want to do a follow-up video on my last Doug Outdoors video when it came to Manistee River Trail. I know a lot of guys will do videos on what they carry, and I figured it'd be kind of fun to do here. Now, I was out for a day hike, so I could have done it with just a couple bottles of water, but I brought some extra stuff with me. Figured I'd talk about that. Like I said, I had some questions and stuff on that, so I figured I'd go through that. So first thing, most importantly, is my bladder, Camelback bladder. It's Army issue bladder. Actually, it's due for replacement. It was seeping on me while I was out there, and I got to doing the math, and this is probably like 20 years old, the bladder included. But that's my number one. So that actually went inside of my backpack. The way this was set up, I didn't feel like trying to wrestle with it, getting it out, ripping a hole in it right before I left. So I just left it in this pack, and then I slid this pack down into my backpack. Now, you do have some room in here if you want to put some stuff in the back or whatever. What I really like is the handle on it. It's got a handle right there, so it makes it really easy to grab onto. It's also got some extra rings on it and strapping, so that if you wanted to strap it to the outside of a pack, another pack, that you could do that. So really liked having that. So then you got the pack itself here. One of the things that I took that I did not use was my walking stick. If I can get it out of here, I probably should have untied this before the video started, but my walking stick I took for two reasons. One, in case I got overly tired. I didn't want to, I wanted to be able to have a little bit of help, clasp a walking stick. It stayed on top of the backpack. So that was one reason why I took it. The other reason was if I got injured, right? If I rolled an ankle or something, I was out there by myself, and who knows when the next person would come in to help me out. So I decided to go ahead and take that just in case. So that's what that was for. And then the other thing that you don't see in the videos is my camera tripod. And obviously you don't see it in the videos because the camera's sitting on top of the tripod when I'm taking the video. That's also on the top here. And if I can get that off of there. So it's a little Amazon tripod. It sits, again, sideways on my pack with my walking stick, so that I can throw it up real quick and take some video. Now on the outside, on my MOLLE right here, I've got these little retainers. You can get these for a couple bucks for a bunch of them, but just a little one of those little paracord retainers that I run through the MOLLE, so that when I'm running something through it, then I can just tighten it up and it brings it down. So that's what I did with the stuff that's sitting on top of my pack. The other thing I have is my first aid kit, which sits here on its own pouch on the outside, so I know it's easily visible for me if I get injured or whatever, or if I'm injured and somebody else is going to my pack to get something for me, I can tell them it's the black pouch, bring me the black pouch, or open the black pouch or whatever. Don't have any kind of EMS stuff on it or whatever. I do have a tourniquet in there. If you don't know anything about tourniquets, you guys, I do teach some stop to bleed type classes, and a tourniquet is one of the simplest, cheapest things that you can take with you for insurance. A lot of people die every year and could have been saved by one tourniquet. So I do have a tourniquet in there. I've got some moleskin, so that's another thing. If you don't know what moleskin is, it's a sticky on one side. It feels like felt on the other side. And you put that on your feet, so when you start getting hot spots on your toes or whatever, what I mean by hot spots is you can tell there's going to be a blister there shortly. You take this moleskin, you cut a piece of it out, and you stick it to that hot spot, and that keeps that rubbing from rubbing that area and slows down that process of getting a blister. So that is my first aid kit. I have some Band-Aids and some other small stuff in it you have in any first aid kit. So moving around to the front here, I probably should. Let me move you guys here. Let's do this. There we go. So moving around to the front here then. In the front pouch I have my pipe roll. I have some tobaccos in there, and Let's see what else. I did bring my saw. I always take the saw in because it's so lightweight. I prefer an axe, but the saw is a very close second. So I take that with me just in case, I decide to have a fire or something. I've got something that I can cut some wood with. One of the things that I don't talk about, but I really like to take with me is, one, these are my military dog tags. And I'm not going to worry about the bumper on it, but also a whistle. So as you saw in the Manistee River Loop video, there's a lot of inclines there, a lot of steep, not ravines, but drop-offs. If I fell down one of those out of view of the trail, I can blow on that. This goes around my neck, and anytime I go out, anything like that, I take this with me so that I make sure that I can get somebody's attention. I got another tourniquet in here. I've got a lighter in here. I'm a big flint and steel fan, but when it comes down to nitty gritty and it's getting dark and I'm in trouble, I'm going to use a lighter every day, every time. So, let's see, more tobacco in here. I do have, seems kind of silly, but I have a little knife sharpener, and those things work great. You see these in the store for, $4 or $5 a piece. These are really nice to have, you guys. As long as you have the right type of knife, these will sharpen most knives. The Mora knife that I carry is not good for this because it's a different type of grind on that. But for a regular pocket knife, these are great. I just got to have a good solid purchase on it. I do have a handkerchief in here so that if I have to boil water to drink, because I don't carry tablets or anything like that to put in my water. I don't carry filters. I think it's a bunch of junk that you really don't need. I mean, you can use it and they work, but I feel like if you have this, then if you use this to filter out the chunks, you boil the water to filter out any bacteria or anything, or to kill any bacteria, I should say, you're good to go. Plus, you can use this as a sweatband, which I forgot I had it. I really could have used it this weekend while hiking because I was sweating like crazy. There's some other things you can do with it as well. What else we got here? So if you're over 40, you'll appreciate this. How about some toilet paper? Luckily, I didn't have to use it this past weekend, but I have in the past had some instances where, man, I'm sure glad I had this. So not a whole roll, but just enough, if you know what I mean. On the other side of that, I've got a little fold-up shovel, just in case I'm in an area where I want to be able to dig what's called a cat hole, which reminds me of that story sometime. I'll tell you, it's pretty funny. But if you dig a cat hole, if you have to dig a cat hole to bury your stuff in, that comes in handy as well. The other thing I have in here is one of those space blankets we used to call them. I don't know what they call them now, but just to help keep the body heat in case you get in trouble or somebody else gets in trouble. And that's the other thing too, it's like a lot of this stuff you're thinking, what am I going to need? But you might come across another hiker or whatever that's going to need something as well. Up here, I got a lot of paracord, some carabiners as well, just in case you got to run a ridgeline or something. I'll show you. I got a poncho in here as well. But if I got to make a quick shelter, I can tie that paracord between two trees, get some carabiners on it, and now I've got a ridgeline to put a tarp over to give myself some shelter. Let's see. In here, I just had some snacks. I didn't throw this. I didn't show you all the snacks I have, but I had a lot of snacks in my bag as well. Just because I tend to eat a lot. This trip I didn't, but I tend to eat a lot while I'm on the trail. This is my flint and steel kit. Inside there, I've got some charred wood. I bring that along for fun, you guys. That's not for survival. Can I do it in a survival situation? You bet your butt I can, because I practice and I know what I'm doing. However, again, if I'm in a survival situation, I'm saving every bit of energy I can. I'm using a lighter so I can light that fire fast. I don't know how, I might get hypothermic. I might be in a situation where, time is the essence, and I gotta get that fire lit. More snacks. Here's that poncho I was telling you about. This is a large poncho, so this is actually 53 inches by 84 inches. So it'd be over 4 foot by 7 foot-ish. Ripstop. So basically it's got a hole for your head where the hood's at. And then it's also got the snaps down the sides. So you can wear it as a poncho, but if you take the snaps off and flatten it out, it's almost like a flat tarp. And this is for me one of my absolutely have to have if I get caught outside. Next thing I have is for boiling water or cooking. This is my nesting set. This is a Walmart set. Okay, it's simple. You can find tons of videos on this. It's a Stanley cook set that sits inside a cup. So the cup comes separately, but we'll go over to let's go over to the cup first. So the cup, again, they have another handkerchief here. It's just a regular cup. This is I think this was $5 or something at Walmart. Stainless steel cup, but it nests really nicely, or the Stanley cook set nests really nicely inside of that, so it packs up good. But what you can do then is you can boil in here and you can pour it into there. These Stanley cook sets are awesome. You see the lid here. You can strain stuff if you want. So if I'm making a pine needle tea, I can throw pine needles in it, boil the water, put the lid back on, and then just kind of pour it like that, and it'll keep the needles inside and let the water out. So you got this kind of locking handle here, locks into place, so you can do whatever you want with it there. I wish they had a different design because I don't ever use that handle. I don't say ever, most of the time I don't. The other thing that I changed on the design is, and a lot of guys will, is on this lid they give you a plastic tab. Took that plastic tab off and put a key ring on there so that when you're heating this thing up, you don't have to worry about that plastic melting. So you take that off. I've got, one of the things that I did here was I took a fishing lead line, drilled 2 holes, one on each side, and ran that through there. So what that does for me is I build a tripod. I can hook that on that tripod and I can hang over the fire versus me having to just set it in the fire. And that just stays on there. And then inside that, we've got, so these cook kits come with 2 of these nesting cups. I only take 1. I don't need 2 when I'm out by myself. So that's nice for if you do make something like pine needle tea or something, instead of using the other cup I showed you that cools off fast, this is kind of an insulated cup, and it gets cooler slower, so you can enjoy your tea a little bit longer. So that's the Stanley cook set. I've used that several times, you guys. It works great. It packs up so nicely that you don't have to worry about a whole lot. Now, one of the things I didn't show you was a lot of times I'll put either tea or some of my food. You can get dehydrated beans or whatever, and just shove the bag of those inside there so it's ready to go when you're ready to eat or whatever. I take this into the woods a lot. I don't always use it, but a lot of times I will. All right, so back to the pack. That's it for that. Let me see if I'm forgetting anything here. A couple things up here. So I got old man teeth, so I need some toothpicks. Oh yeah, can't forget your compass. That's really important. And for some reason I have 2 knife sharpeners in here, so I've taken one of those out. Oh, and then on the other side, which I will do a video on yet. I told you guys I'd do another video on this, but this is my my Amazon flashlight. Very, very cool little flashlight. I'm hoping to do another review on this. I did an earlier one. I really wasn't thrilled with that review, but this stays on my pack. I really like it because it kind of, this Molle webbing. Oops, this Molle webbing makes it really nice to just be able to slide that on there and have that light wherever, or you can slide it on your shirt. And I'll go over that in the review video. So I think, you guys, that's pretty much it for what I took that day. Now, an honorable mention. Oh, I should probably talk about the pack itself. The pack itself is a SOG, S-O-G pack. If you notice, a lot of my stuff's not high dollar HEI stuff. I mentioned in the video I stopped and talked to another hiker, and he had, he told me, he's like, I went to HEI, I bought everything I could, and he's wearing everything brand new. All that stuff doesn't make you a hiker. Now, I'm not saying that stuff's bad. If I had the money, I'd probably be shopping at HEI a lot. But this bag, I think I got at Dick's Sporting Goods. I had a gift certificate given to me, and I want to say it was like $40 or something like that. So you don't have to go crazy on that. So yeah, good quality stuff. The Walmart cook kit, all that stuff. Not a big deal. You don't have to spend a ton of money. 2 things I forgot to tell you, and I just glanced at it. One was my Mora knife. I am a huge fan of Mora knives. Now, I said earlier, as far as knife grinding goes, that those grinders or those sharpeners I have aren't good for the Mora knives. That's because a Mora knife, the way the grind is on it, is it's a straight grind, meaning it comes together like this. Your regular knife comes together like this, but then the very tip of it, it kind of curves out like that. So you have this, it's really sharp on the edge, and then it comes out. A Mora knife is just straight like this, and that's it. So you have to make sure you sharpen this a certain way. But I just really like these knives because, one, they feel really good in the hand. The other thing is they come with the plastic sheath, and it's easy to get on and get off, put on your belt or whatever. I don't have to worry about treating the leather or anything like that. It was a leather sheath. It's got a hole in the bottom of it so it drains well if you get water in it. And of course the price. Last I checked, they were $15 to $20 for most of them. Some of them, they have some higher end stuff, but for most of them, you're talking $15 to $20 for your run-of-the-mill Mora knife. And the bushcrafters love it. I love it. So yeah, it's a good thing. And the other thing I had too is you got Army guys. You'll recognize these. These are called pacing beads, and what these are for is you figure out how long your paces are. So I know that each pace of mine is about 3 yards or a little less. And the way it works, you can use it different ways, but the way we used it in the Army was that you would pace off so much distance. So let's say it's 10 meters. Okay, so if I know that I have, let's say, 20 steps in 10 meters. I don't know how many, I don't remember how many steps I have in 10 meters, but say I have 20 steps in 10 meters. So what I would do is if I was lost or if I knew I had to go a certain area, I would go 20 steps and I would move, I'd push all these beads up. Let's see if I can do this on camera, it'd be fun. Push all these beads up. So each 20 steps, actually the wrong side. Each 20 steps, I'd move a bead down saying I'd gone 10 meters, right? Next 20 steps, I've gone 20 meters. It's a way to keep track of how far you're going. So then you get down all 9 of them, right? So when you go another 20 steps, you move all these up and you move one of these down. And then you start counting all over again, each 20 steps. That helps you keep track of how far you're going. So if you have to backtrack, or if you know, hey, it's this distance to there or whatever, you can do that. So where that would come in handy on the trail would be like, you know, I don't know if I'm going the right direction. I'm going to go this way and see what I can get. So you can hang something or whatever in a tree to mark it or whatever, but you can also mark your steps so that when you're coming back, you know, I got to go this far in order to find where I started. So I almost forgot about those. So those are important as well. And then an honorable mention that I did not take into the Manistee Forest was my trusty axe. Again, you guys, not a lot of money in this. I bought this axe all rusty and pitted at a garage sale for $5. $5, and then I got this sheath, I think, for $15. I paid more for the sheath than I did for the actual axe itself. It's a short axe, right? So it's basically the length of my forearm if my fingers are outstretched. Which is a great little axe for when you're going into the woods for the day. Now, for what I was doing, I wanted to shed a little bit of weight because I was a little concerned on how much weight I was taking when you consider that I had all that water in the bladder as well, and I wasn't used to hiking long distances. So, yeah, this is really handy to have. I really like this little axe. I haven't been able to use it as much as I would have liked, but you know, we can change that, right? So that's an honorable mention for that. So anyway, that's what I took into the woods. That's how I just bring you guys back up here. That's how I packed for the day. I know this is a long video. I apologize for that, but I know a lot of guys are interested in that kind of stuff. So, guys, if you have questions on any of this stuff that I took, or want to make comments in the below, or, hey, I take this too, or whatever, feel free to do that. This is the kind of stuff I get into when I'm outdoors. So, guys, I hope you all are doing well. And until next time, you take care.